Welcome back to Origins by the Esports Awards. Here we chat with your favorite creators, players, and business minds at the forefront of our beloved gaming industry. My name is Barney Banks, and today is no exception because today we dive into the origins of one of our most prevalent cosplayers with a career in music, acting, and streaming. Please welcome Myrtle. Myrtle, how you doing?
Hi, Barney. It's nice to finally talk with you. We almost crossed paths before, but sadly, we didn't get the chance to meet in Riyadh. So, thank you very much for having me.
That is true. I'm devastated that we didn't get a chance to chat, but here we are right now. Myrtle, we have to talk about your first steps into the entertainment industry because you came from the football capital of the Philippines, Iloilo, and into the
Yes.
doors of Big Brother Teen Edition 4. How did that happen?
I know it's like a huge jump from that. So Iloilo is actually my hometown where I grew up. Back then, I really loved just working with a lot of people in sports because back then I was like the youth federation president in our province and I really loved it. But my steps into Big Brother was actually pretty unexpected. Like I never really saw myself to get into the entertainment industry back then. Like it was such a whenever I think of it, it's like a dream that is up in the clouds that I never really imagined. But all the stars just aligned. So I was actually cosplaying. And then one of the people saw me and told me that, I think you should try out for this TV show. I auditioned for it. And then I got in and I won the TV show. So I've been very blessed that a lot of the paths opened up for me when I was just starting out.
What's it actually like, in that Big Brother house? I mean, you've got to think back to that time if you can. And like just kind of being locked in a house with a bunch of strangers. Are you constantly aware that you're being filmed all the time? Or do you just forget and you just kind of enter into this, you know, house full of a bunch of random people?
Oh gosh, Big Brother here is pretty different because, like, here it's a lot of teenagers. So back then, I was 17 years old and I was with 13 years old housemates, and there were 14 of us who were there for like a full 100 days. And it's pretty complicated. There was like a lot of cameras, even in the toilets, there are cameras. Everywhere you look at, there are cameras. But after like 1 to 2 weeks, we completely forgot that the cameras exist and we were just doing our tasks and enjoying. There are days though that I really missed playing games as I was there. So whenever we were doing tasks, I was thinking, okay, I should think of this as like a in-game quest so that I have to make sure that we win this challenge because if we don't, we actually don't have food for the full week. So we were always pretty pressed to make sure that we succeed. And it's pretty fun, but really like I didn't expect that it would bring me to where I am now because Big Brother was just a crazy experience for me. When I got out, there was like a lot of people who suddenly knew my name, and it was just crazy. They were
Damn.
watching me for 24 hours every single day. And
They were watching you
there's
go to the
also
toilet. What's that about? There were cameras in the toilets? Oh man,
there
they
are
can't do that
there's
anymore.
a camera in the toilet, and there's like a we only have 5 minutes to take a shower every single day.
Yo.
So there's like a timer, and we didn't even
Wow,
know
so
the
these are like
time.
legit challenges like the whole time throughout. That actually sounds like much more entertaining TV than just watching people hang out in Big Brother, which is kind of what we have here. But you actually managed to do, what many reality TV stars only could dream of doing. You have transformed into like an actress and you've gone into TV series. You starred in things like Makiling and Mighty Longo Girl. So, was that always the
Yes.
route that you wanted to carve out for yourself? Was acting always on the cards for you?
I really like bringing to life different characters from cosplay to acting, but I didn't expect that I would be taking the roles of a lot of antagonists here in the Philippines. Because if you know me in person, even in gaming, even in my streams, everyone knows me as someone who's pretty soft-spoken, pretty loud whenever we're playing competitively, but most of the time I'm pretty soft-spoken. And then here in the Philippines for TV, I'm always typecasted as the antagonist. So it's pretty I always play the bad guy villain in all of the TV shows that I do. So it's pretty fun. It's like putting on a costume, and I think cosplay has really helped to just transform myself from who I am in my day-to-day life to transform myself into this villain. But at the same time, it's really a challenge because you have to put humanity into the characters. You can't just memorize the script, play it out, say the lines out loud. It's not like that. You have to really put the persona of the character and bring them to life, think of why they're doing these things. And those challenges really is really a lot of like building who this person is. And I think cosplay has helped me act because whenever I'm also cosplaying, I try to just, love the character regardless of what their background is. So it's also the same for acting. It's just building that horizon of why this character is bad from the very beginning and why she would do this, and put some reasons and rationale into everything that she's doing.
I think
So
that's a really
especially
good way
for
to
like,
look at it, though.
yeah, cause like in Makiling there was a scene where, oh, there's a lot. I killed like a lot of people in the show. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, sure.
But as the character,
Yeah.
and then I there were scenes where they hung me upside down in a crane machine. Like I didn't have any body double. They put me inside a coffin 6 feet under.
Whoa.
I am scared, by the way, of being put in coffins and being put under the
Yo.
ground. but but it's pretty crazy that I get to have these experiences. Yes, I wouldn't do the being hung upside down on a crane machine again because it's pretty scary now that I look back.
I think it's good that you get to
but
stretch these like acting muscles though, right? And it's amazing that you
mhm.
get to, become these characters, transform into these, like you said, these cosplays that you do allows you to kind of understand and helps you understand the character. And it's nice that you go into that extra bit of depth because I think that a lot of actors maybe miss that.
Ah, so I think what's the fun part is it doesn't feel like a job for me whenever I get into, similarly with cosplay, whenever I get into my acting and to playing characters and being in these roles that are very challenging. It doesn't feel like work because when I get to the set, I suddenly just snap and change into that character, and then I start to feel their emotions that I wouldn't normally feel at a day-to-day life. And it's really fun because it's just like you're teleporting into another world. It's like adventuring into different lores of a game and just imagining how it would feel like if you were like the bad guy into these stories, and just loving every bit of moment of you playing them. Even if it means that you have to do like a lot of stunts, like having to hurt another person, although we don't really hurt each other. But doing those things, it's pretty intense. These are things that I would have never imagined I would do.
I think that we have these soap operas in the UK, right? We have one in particular called EastEnders, okay? And there's lots of
Extended.
villains and heroes, and it's about families that live in a particular area in London, right? But I think that a lot of people that watched the show, especially when it was at its peak, would have difficulty separating the actor from the person in real life. So, like you said, as a person in real life, you're soft spoken. You don't perceive, you're not really like a villainous person. Did people that you lived with or people in your area see you on the street and then behave towards you like you were the character that they'd seen you in the show?
Oh, there is a lot of like that because most of the time here in TV, since it's local TV, they see me every single day, from Monday to Saturday, especially for Bakiling, and then for every single weeknight for my Ilonggo girl, and they would always assume that I had this persona of a mean person. So whenever they hop into my stream and see me playing games like Mobile Legends, Call of Duty, they're like, how is she this both people at the same time? So because of those TV shows, I actually got the chance to have new audiences who watch me for games. Even those who never really got into gaming started watching my streams, and they're like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. Because my Longa Girl just happened quite recently, just this January, February. And I had like a newfound audience from that show who started following me because of it. And they started watching me play games as well. And they really enjoyed it. And they started downloading games as well because of my origins into TV. So I'm very happy that I'm slowly like converting new audiences from TV into gaming.
Yes. I mean, talking of gaming, everyone has these unique starting points with the gaming industry. Every single time I speak to someone, there's always some weird or wonderful way that they got into gaming. Now, you kind of got into cosplay first, right? When you were like 14 years old. How did that even
Yes.
start? What was the origin story of you cosplaying?
The thing that really started me into getting into cosplay was really my love for anime and games. So I started watching animes whenever my school ended at 3 p.m. back in when I was just like 4 or 5 years old. And I would like rush home to watch Dragon Ball Z with my dad. And then every single time I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then I started watching Sailor Moon. I was like, wow, she's so pretty. And I just started envisioning like, oh, it would be really nice to sew and create these kinds of outfits. And then my love for gaming also got me into like getting a PlayStation console when I was pretty young because of my dad. He was like telling me like you should ask for a PlayStation for Christmas so we can play together. So seeing all these characters from anime and games, one day I was searching the anime forums and I saw like a girl who was wearing a Amane Misa cosplay costume. This was back in 2009. I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks so pretty. And I started trying to copy the entire aesthetic of Amane Misa back then when it was like really emo era. And I got into cosplay, and because of cosplay, I just really enjoyed that feeling of bring to life this character. And whenever you're in costume, meeting a lot of people in conventions, and they would just say like, "Wow, you really look like a character. I love this character. Do you like this anime?" We started just having these conversations. Really inspired me to continuously cosplay every single month that I had, even growing up. And I didn't expect that cosplay would bring me this career that I have now. Because back then it was just a passion, a hobby that I had for fun. But never did I expect that. Cut to a decade later, I'm still doing it right now actually right now as like a job as well. Although it's still passionately doing it as what I'm still thinking of it like a hobby, but I can actually do it as a job now.
Yes, you can. I mean, you may be shocked to hear this, but I'm not that familiar with the world of cosplay as I sit here in
What?
this plain black
No.
t-shirt. Now, but with
Re-
each, I'm curious to know that with each design that you create, do they have to get bigger, better, more detailed? Is there like an expectation that you put on yourself to improve each cosplay every time?
I have to say that I think it's more of just having fun in every single cosplay because there's a different level of difficulty for every single character. There's characters from games that have so much detail. Um, think of League of Legends or think of like Mobile Legends characters that have like so much details into their costumes. But there's also really fun cosplays to do, like anime cosplays from One Piece that basically is more into casual kind of outfits. So it would be really dependent upon if you like this character a lot. So basically, Bonnie, for like cosplays, really bring to life any anime or gaming character, from how their hair looks to their costume, at the same time, how you present yourself and role playing it into real life. And I think like the most rewarding part whenever I cosplay is that whenever you're wearing the costume that you work so hard on, um, after you wear it and you see other people enjoy it as well as they take photos with you, it's really a different experience.
I think that that's one of the best things is seeing people's reactions to cosplay because I've been to conventions and I've seen people talking and exchanging details and talking about how they created their cosplays, and it's amazing that it's so vast as well. It's such a huge industry, and it's very personal to a lot of people as well. And you actually mentioned to me before we went live here that you actually stream in cosplay costumes as well. But when you stream,
Yes.
is that something that you have to return to when you're not in the middle of like acting or music projects? Because you have all these other strings to your bow, which is like, yeah, a phrase that we say, but you know, you're extremely busy. So do you stream daily?
I stream every other day. So I think in a week I would stream at least 2 to 3 times a week, and then the other 3 days is either shooting content or doing TV work at the same time. It's a lot of time management skills. I think I've learned how to manage my time because of MMORPG games. Whenever you're doing those quests every single day, where you have to log in and do daily quests, weekly quests. So I think of my day to day life similarly. Like I have daily quests that I have to do for like my cosplay stuff. I have daily quests that I have to do for gaming. I have quests that I have to do for like my entertainment work. And in order to do all of these like tasks, I have to think of it like a video game. And thus I get to balance everything. But it's very hard. I'll be honest. There are days where it's just like very difficult. Especially when I'm doing TV. Because back then we would used to film TV shows for like 26 hours. It's not even just
Yo,
24, it's 26.
what? And
Yeah,
you're on
so
set that
I
whole time?
yeah, so we would start at like 5 a.m. and then I would be my time off would be 7 a.m. the next day. And then
Okay.
it's crazy. So when I get home, I would just sleep a little bit and then I would stream. And then after I stream, I pack up my stuff and get ready for another 5 a.m. day. So there was like a lot of days where it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. This is so difficult. Although luckily now they've limited it here in the Philippine government to have it to 18 hours instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, surely that's not allowed to do 26 hours.
Oh gosh, now it's 18 hours, so it's not as bad. It's not as bad. And I
Wow.
still get to do my streaming and cosplay at the side. So it's really a lot of just doing it passionately. I think the thing that really inspired me to wake up every single day is that love for gaming. Because I've realized that if you're not passionate about what you do, you won't get up with so much energy to do
Yeah.
everything that you want to do.
I think especially with
So,
streaming as well, people can see if you're not enjoying it because people tend to stream for so long. People stream from
mm,
anywhere between 2 and 8 hours at any given
oh,
time. If
yeah.
you're not enjoying it, people will be able to figure it out, right?
Yes, like everyone will see how your disposition as you're streaming. And I think it's also having that mindset that you're streaming because you want to bring fun to a lot of people who's watching. You stream because you want to bring this experience, share your adventures with those who are watching you play the game. So I always make sure that before I stream, it's like you're genuinely excited from the inside out to share a lot of things with your viewers. And I think that's also the reason why I've grown as a streamer, because I didn't really expect that I would be a streamer since 2018 till now. I didn't also expect that there would be so much recognitions that I would get from streaming, and being able to do this every single day is just a blessing. It's something that I'm very, very, very grateful for.
I love that gaming and anime and kind of your origin story into gaming is stems from your relationship with your dad and how you guys both really enjoyed playing video games. I love that because I have a similar relationship with my dad and he was really into racing games, but I would be into things like GoldenEye or Mario, but we shared that same passion. But what was that? What was the game? What was the game that introduced you into the industry that got its hooks into you and then you were like, oh, I can never stop?
The first game that I played was actually Monster Rancher. I don't know if you know it. Anyway, it's like
No.
anyway, it's a PlayStation 1 game where you basically put in CDs and it generates monsters. And then after that, I
Okay.
started playing Harvest Moon. So these are a lot of like titles that are, so I started playing Harvest Moon, where it's like you build your own farm and you basically play a JRPG with other characters. And then after that, I got into Pokemon. Like I addictively got into all of the Pokemons with my dad and my brother. And since then, there was just such a, I just really genuinely enjoyed playing games. And just to look back from then till now, I didn't expect that I would do a lot of gaming work as well. Because my dad was so proud of me when he heard the lobby music for Call of Duty. Because 2 years ago, I wrote the song. I wrote the lobby music for Call of Duty Mobile here in Southeast Asia, and then they eventually put it in America as well. And when my parents actually heard it, they were like, "We're so proud of you. You're doing what you love, and we're glad that back then when you told us that you wanted to get into cosplay, what you wanted to get into TV, we're really happy that you." Fought for your dreams because back then they were genuinely trying to convince me to become a lawyer.
Yeah, it's always the way,
I
isn't
was
it?
already yes, they were like, you're gonna become a lawyer. You're gonna be an accountant and a lawyer. And I was already there. I was already studying it for college. And they were like, we're really proud of you that you fought for your dreams, even though it wasn't exactly something that we would have imagined for you. But you're right. This is what is truly your path that you're taking. And we're glad that you took that leap. So when they heard all of these things that I've been doing, they're just so proud of me. And I genuinely like whenever I see my parents, they're like crying because they're just, very happy for me.
I think for parents as well, all they want is for their kids to be successful and to be happy. And so I think that parents, I think of people who are around our age. I think I'm slightly older than you, but I think our parents would, that's what they knew. They this industry, to them, they don't really understand it, how the entertainment industry has expanded, how the gaming industry has grown. And so when, both of us said to our parents, this is what we want to do, I don't blame them for being nervous. I actually have a son, and I think to myself, when he's older, I'm gonna come across this same issue. He'll want to do something that I don't understand, maybe, and you kind of just have to be accepting of that and then let them at least try, because you can fail at doing something that you don't want to do. So you may as well try to do something that you love. And if you fail, then
Yep.
you can always go on to something else. I think you've actually mentioned your communities quite a bit. You said you grew your community from the new TV show that you've done in January and February, and you have this gaming community as well. Do your communities kind of bleed into each other? So do you tend to have like a community for your acting, a community for your gaming, but is there a lot of crossover now? And has that grown this year?
Yes, there's a lot of crossover. So people who knew me from who followed me from all of the gaming stuff that I do did watch my TV show, and there's a lot of people who started watching me because of TV, started following me for my gaming and cosplay content, and it's been I don't know, it's just massive because I think back then when I started just cosplaying, I didn't expect that I would grow to millions and millions and millions of followers. Up to like getting all of these recognitions from TikTok gaming to Philippine streamer of the year and stuff. So there's been a lot of like intersections from TV and gaming that I'm very happy people started to see the real me, because back then there was like a lot of people who were really mad at me for the TV show roles that I do. So I'm happy that streaming has allowed to let them see me behind all of these characters, all of these roles.
You let them see the real you.
Yeah.
And that's good. That is good,
Because there's
luckily.
a
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Because back then there would be some people who would be mad at you and tell you you're such a bad person. Who people from the mall would start like screaming that because they always
No.
think, yeah, yeah, they
That's what.
they genuinely think that I'm Venice, my character. They would even call me the names of the characters that I play. So now that they see me as Myrtle, they also enjoy the content that I do for streaming.
I mean, that's so wild. To us, it kind of seems, oh my God, I can't believe people do that. But then you can kind of understand it if people only know you from what they've seen on TV. But yeah, it still baffles me that they then shout the character name at you and they don't think that you're a real person, basically.
Person. I
That's
I think
just,
it's also because, they see you every single day as this person that they're mad at on TV. And because I do a lot of really intense stuff on TV, from like pouring burning hot water to the characters, to
oh,
like putting her hand in a blender. It's
dude, what? That must have been fun to
yes.
film, though.
Oh gosh, I like I said,
You can say yes.
I have this fear of hurting another person. I have this genuine fear of hurting another person, and because I can actually see the blaze, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so scared to do this." But I have to switch that character and play the character and make sure that the other person doesn't really get hurt, although we're acting as if we're hurting each other.
Man.
It's difficult, Bonnie.
It's a skill. It's a skill though, and I have to say props to you because it's not easy. And I mean, speaking of the production side of what you do as well, I actually watched your Warzone music video. I watched it
Thank
today. I wanted to check it
you.
out because I loved the production. Obviously, the music is great. You're great in it. You've got these like dancers with you as well, these extras, and I really thought the production was super impressive. And the amount of time and effort and energy you must have put into all of this. How did you kind of develop it? Was it all you? Did you team up with people like producers in order to help create the vision, or was it just kind of all you?
It's really unexpected. So when they approached me for a lot of the Call of Duty stuff, I've been streaming Call of Duty for like 3 4 years then, and they were like, we heard some of the music that you wrote. We really like the songs that you made that is inspired by Call of Duty, and maybe let's do something for reals. So when they gave me that opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my full on best. I don't care. I'm just gonna put all my creativity into this. And luckily, a lot of the people who I have collaborated with through the years, I asked them if they wanted to work together on this project, and they were like, yes, we're super game, that would be a dream come true. And it's just a lot of all the creative minds just aligning. And a lot of my experiences as well, studying production back in college, just came in handy so that I could use it all for this video. But I think the hardest part would be trying to highlight the Philippines as well, because we travel to a lot of like farther places just to showcase Philippines, and trying to pull off these things that normally we don't really do here in the Philippines yet. So I'm very happy that we were able to showcase the talents of Filipinos in creatives through the videos that we make, and it was just really fun, Barney. Like I didn't expect that we would be able to do such cool things.
It did look like it was really fun to film because
It
it's
was
it
really
scratch it
fun.
scratches an itch for me as well because I used to actually work in music videos and stuff, so I know how fun the process can be and
Is.
how, fulfilling it is as well. And I think that for you as the artist, do you ever kind of go back in your music library and listen to like or watch the first things that you produced? Because I don't know, think about it for me, like in like terms of social media, let's say, if you scrolled to the first ever few pictures that I posted on Instagram, I'd probably
Oh
cringe out and
gosh.
go, "Oh my god, I can't believe I did that." But do you find that your music has developed over the years as well? Like if you go back and listen to your first track that you made, does it sound not even like you?
Oh gosh, yes. Yes, especially the first song that I produced and I sang, which is Mr. Cupido. So like these days on TikTok, it went viral again, but everyone didn't know that I sang it. So um King Kong, like the esports player of Mobile Legends here from Onyx, was actually singing it at one of our shoots for Mobile Legends. He's like, Mr. Cupido. And I was like, oh my gosh, secretly in my brain, oh my gosh, they don't know that I actually sang the song. Oh, they thank you, TikTok, for making a trend again.
That's so good.
But whenever
TikTok
I hear
has its
it, it's
ways.
just that like my voice back then was like way different from how I work now. So I'm very grateful that there's a lot of learnings through the years. But whenever I look back, although I do feel some cringe, I'm very grateful because these beginnings is actually my origin of how I got from then till where I am now.
I mean,
I
it's so impressive to just like think about the amount of stuff that you do kind of back to back as well, or even like, at the same time, and all these different verticals that you're in, like music and acting and gaming. And they are all kind of full-time gigs. Like you said, you would come back from acting, you would switch on your PC, and then you would stream. That requires a lot of dedication. Have you found that you're always that kind of person? Have you always been a really hardworking person, or is it because this particular thing with streaming is more of a passion project for you and you just happen to have excelled in it?
I have to honestly say it's really just remembering where you started out and remembering your beginnings. Because before, I didn't expect that there would be opportunities into gaming. So whenever like a single opportunity comes along my way, I don't just give my best. I would give my 100,000 9999999% energy into it. And then whenever they invite me into events, I always know in the back of my mind that this experience will never happen again. So it's always just remembering that I have to live in that certain moment and appreciate the people who I meet along the way, the people who traveled from farther provinces to go into my convention events to meet me, to work with such amazing people to create a costume because I know that this character is just about to come out and it's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity to be one of the people to bring this character to life and the enjoyment that you'll get from other people seeing you bring that character to life, and also just being grateful in general because I do know that this is the work that we have is truly a privilege. It's not something that everyone is blessed with. Like it's something that we all dream of but is very hard to attain. So whenever I remember that I remember that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, I just remember to just give my all and just leave no regrets in whatever I do.
It definitely is a privilege to be in this industry and also, to have all of these things going for you as well, let's say. But I think that what people can learn from this podcast a lot of the time is that you've put in an extreme amount of hard work in order to get to where you are. And I don't think that that should be uh should be missed in this conversation, because I know that you are extremely grateful, and you know the to do what you do and to enjoy what you do in life is definitely something that everyone strives for. But also, you've worked very, very hard to get to the point that you're at now, so you should be commended. I'll give you a quick clap
Thank
there.
you. Thank
But
you so much.
I haven't spoke. I guess that the Warzone song might fall under this category. However, I did want to ask you as one of my questions, what the highlight of your music career has been so far. Would you say it's that Warzone song?
I would say it's that is the lobby music for Call of Duty. Being able to co-write that was crazy for the fourth anniversary. But another would be the um, MiHoYo Games projects with Zenless Zone Zero, producing their official Filipino music song was crazy. So
Awesome.
I having to getting that opportunity to not only be on camera for it but also be the creative behind it together with my team was a crazy pressure. Like I think I was dreaming of the song every single night I slept. It's like that dream, but at the same time you know that you have to make sure that this is really great. So I think that would be another, but I think another dream of mine would be I'm still dreaming of would be like either voicing a game or anime character. That would be a dream come true.
Okay. How are you gonna okay, how walk me through how you would make that happen. Imagine I came up to you and I said, right, Myrtle, you want to get into a character, let's say to voice a character in game. What would be the first thing that you would do? Would you go and record and just see what voices came out? Or would the first thing you do is contact as many publishers as you can to say, I would love to do it. Do you have any characters coming out? Like, because it's difficult to know, like, unless you're with like a voice acting agent, the to be able to actually get that ball rolling can be very difficult.
Oh gosh, I would understand. I don't know yet. I think the first thing that I would do is just record myself, and then maybe sometime from now, hopefully, opportunity comes along. Because I really believe that luck is the alignment of whenever you're prepared for something and then the opportunity arises. I really believe that that is luck. So I guess it's just really preparing for that opportunity to come along in the future and maybe being ready for it as well.
I actually think that people underestimate how difficult it is voice acting. And because you
It's
mentioned
pretty hard.
Dragon Ball
It's
Z
pretty
as
hard.
well, I saw a behind the scenes video of the guy that voices Goku
Oh,
screaming, and he has to scream so much, and it looks like it must
yes.
be so tough on his vocal cords.
It's also the same for TV work. It's like whenever you have to do a scene for multiple camera angles, Gosh, by the time you're doing like the sixth take of like a very intense scene where you're screaming, like your voice is
Oh,
just really,
wow.
you're losing your voice by then.
And like getting
So,
emotional as well. I imagine like people that have
yeah,
to cry on
yeah.
screen and they have to cry 6 different times.
Yes,
That's
for different
tough.
angles. For like wide and
Wow.
then mid shot and then a close up. Or sometimes it's like the close up, mid shot, and then a wide shot. So it's pretty difficult to continuously maintain your emotions for every single camera. So I have those respect really for voice actors. I know that their job is not easy. So maybe that would be like a far shot dream in the future. Maybe.
You've done everything else. I feel like you can do it. Now, you mentioned that you were in Riyadh actually, and you went to the Esports Awards there. How was that? How was the experience? And kind of, were there any highlights of traveling across the world to that country and just kind of experiencing the award ceremony?
Oh, that was really crazy. I got the chance to meet now one of my good friends, which is of course Panda M4 and then Payal, who were both also at the Esports Awards as presenters. And it was just an amazing experience of just meeting a lot of creative minds behind the favorite games that I love. Also meeting a lot of people who work into games and just I got the chance to meet a lot of people from Pokemon. I was in the elevator and then I was just like, "Hi, I'm Myrtle. You can call it sounds like Squirtle." And then they were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. We're from Pokemon." And I'm like, "Oh, what? No way!" And I had no idea. And they flew into the Philippines and they always remember me as Squirtle because of that. So I was pretty grateful and meeting a lot of
Oh
people on
man.
people who are just in creatives in esports, a lot of people who I look up to in games, meeting them face to face was just very inspiring. After that entire experience at Riyadh, I came back being more fueled to do the work that we do in gaming.
It's amazing to meet like-minded and inspiring people that also maybe they are in different games to you. Obviously, I know that Panda is in like the PUBG mobile scene and stuff, but they share that passion for video games. It's just their focus is on a different game. I had a similar experience to what you just said. Funnily enough, I was doing an opening ceremony for PUBG Mobile on the stage at the Esports World Cup, and I had
Really?
to do this opening segment because PUBG Mobile was announcing that it had a collaboration with Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I had to walk onto the
Cool.
stage with the Dragon Balls and I had to like put them on the stage to like start the show. And this AR like dragon came out and it was this really cool moment. After we'd finished it, the head of esports from Tencent came over and I shook his hand and said, hey, and they were like, thanks for doing that. That was really cool. And I shook a few other people's hands. And as they walked off, the guy that I work with from PUBG Mobile was like, "Do you know who that guy was? The other guy that shook your hand." He didn't say anything to me, but he just was like, "Thank you." He like kind of bowed and shook my hand, and he was like, "That's the vice president of Dragon Ball Z." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he was
Oh
like, "He's one of like the
gosh.
co-creators. He's the one that they got someone to fly the Dragon Balls with them to Riyadh in order
Bring
for me
to
to
the
carry them out."
Oh
Yeah.
my
It was
goodness.
wild. And I was like, I wish that he'd
You're
have said something to me. Like hi or introduced himself.
Did you take a
Oh.
photo with them? Hopefully.
No, they came over, they said hi, and then they just
No!
left. I didn't know who they were. They just left. And then I got told afterwards who they were. And I was like, oh my God, why
Oh
didn't you guys tell
gosh.
me? Oh, because like you, Dragon Ball Z was that was the only anime that I watched growing up because it was on terrestrial TV. It was on like regular TV in the UK. That was like the only anime that was on TV. So I watched that and I loved it. It was so cool. Frieza was my favorite villain, and I was just oh man, it was just so cool. But the English voiceovers were a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
I would understand. I would understand. But oh my gosh, that is crazy. That
it
is
is.
crazy. I wish you took a photo with them.
It's one of the best events that I've been to just because, like you said, being around like-minded people, being around people that work across different games and they're also passionate about it and it's their favorite job ever, they wouldn't want to do anything else. It's such a
Yes.
great environment to be in. What are some of your favorite events that you've been to? So would you say like it was a cosplay event or a gaming event or an awards ceremony? Like what's kind of your favorite that sticks out in your mind?
I'm not gonna lie, it's really the Esports Awards and the Esports World Cup. Being there was
Really?
really a once in a lifetime experience that I will never ever forget. I just met so many amazing people as I was there. We really tried our best to make the most of it as we visited. I even like convinced Panda last minute to like join me into the sands area just to take photos. So it was
Oh,
pretty once in a
cool.
lifetime crazy. Apart from that, I think another memorable experience for me was the Tokyo Game Show. Like they have the
Oh,
best
cool.
booths ever. Like they have the actual they have like a two-story high Goku that was crazy huge, a two-story high Sonic that was crazy huge, and they just had the most amazing booths that when I got into it, I tried to walk through all the 10 halls of the event.
Wow.
It was just I cannot like just describe how being there felt like entering multiple game worlds into every single booth. So Tokyo Game Show would be another event that I completely cannot forget about. And then the rest would be like the Philippine conventions here, which would be ESGS, where I got the chance to meet amazing fellow Filipino fans of multiple games. And I think experiences with the audience is what makes it different.
I've got uh I've got some quick fire questions for you next, Myrtle.
Fire away, fire away.
And also, touching on those events you mentioned, I think it also shows you the appreciation that you have for people that work and develop and create and build these events at convention centers because they're so big. Like you said, going through the 10 halls,
Mm,
and they're all, laid out differently. Things are built differently. And I think that the thing that really switches it for me is because when I sometimes go to events that I'm hosting, I'm going to do rehearsals during the building process. So I'm seeing them build all of the rigs, the staging, the figurines that they're going to have. Like you said, the 2-story high Gokus that they have. You get sorry, you develop another level of appreciation for the amount of time and effort that goes
truly.
into it. So I think that that's really cool. But yeah, I have these quick fire questions for you.
Fire away,
It's only
fire
three.
away.
Only three. If you could cosplay as one character for the rest of your life, who would it be? And you're not allowed to
Oh
say
my
you.
gosh. I would cosplay Boa Hancock from One Piece. I love her. I love her and
Did you
she's
watch
just
the
so
show? The One
yes, I
Piece show,
love
the
One
the
Piece. That
live
is my
action
favorite
one.
anime. The live action I did. I watched
Okay.
this as well. I got to see Makenyu in person. I was just
Ah,
crazy
okay.
fangirling as well. Who played Zoro? Because Zoro is one of my favorite characters too. So, but if I were to cosplay just one person, Boa Hancock is my answer. Plus,
Okay.
she has a lot of
You
outfits in the anime, so at least I get
Oh,
to
so you have
change clothes.
variety. Yeah, you have variety.
Yes.
um, you have to drop everything, okay? And you have to pick one. Acting, music, or gaming. What do you choose?
Oh, that's difficult. I don't think I could choose just one. Oh gosh. I think I would just enjoy gaming. I really love gaming. Like it's my go-to thing every single day. So I just really love it.
That's the correct answer. Uh, what, what what is the one thing, or what is one thing that your fans don't know about you that would surprise them?
One thing that they don't know about me is I think they don't know that my original course back in college was accounting. Everyone
Okay.
just immediately assumes that I study media or broadcasting and communications, but it was actually accounting and political science.
But I can do your taxes for you. So if everything fails, you can go to being an accountant. So that's good. But let's not put that into the universe. Um, Speaking of the universe, I've coined a phrase for you. What is next for you in the MCU, the Myrtle Cinematic Universe? What's next for you?
What is next for me is
We've spoken
um
about voiceover
I
acting.
I
We've spoken about
know.
everything. But what is going to be next? If you can tell us, do you have any projects coming up, or what would you like to do next?
I'm doing a lot of cosplays this year. So I am doing a lot of cosplays with multiple games this year. So that is something that they can expect. And I am coming out with another song very, very soon. So I'm excited to let them hear. This time it's like
Yes.
arcade inspired. So I really love the sounds of arcade. So I'm working towards a music track that would bring to life like arcade like music from that things that we grew up listening to in the arcade. So I'm very excited for that one.
I like that. We will keep our eyes peeled. But, before I let you go, we would love to ask a little bit about, future generations getting into our industry, how they should navigate it, and like what advice that you would give to future generations looking to kind of work in the gaming industry, in streaming, and kind of follow in your footsteps and kind of learn from you and grow. What advice would you have for someone who maybe said to you, I'd love to do what you do? Where do I start?
The first thing that they need to do is that is a tough question. Um, really working into themselves and knowing who they are would help them truly into bring out their character into the streaming to the streams that they will do. Because one of the things that a lot of people forget is apart from playing the game, it's also important to put who you are across to other people, working on yourself, educating yourself, continuously improving yourself, may it be in the preparations that you do for your streams, at the same time improving your knowledge, improving your skills. Every day is about learning to improve yourself, and always think of yourself like your character in game. So if you're willing to level up your characters in the games that you play, don't forget to also level up yourself in real life. May it be in strength dex, you need to work on your intelligence to improve yourself, your strength. Make sure that you always take care of your body, dexterity, always making sure that you do things at a certain amount of cast time by making sure that you maximize the time that you have in a single day, because it's really knowing that the life that we are given is temporary. So make sure that you live the most of it and just don't be afraid to start out. A lot of people get afraid to hop into the gaming industry and just trying it out, but the first step is really just taking that first leap of faith, like in Assassin's Creed. Just take that leap of faith and then sometimes it'll just happen.
Now you're talking my language. I love Assassin's Creed.
That's why I love the term leap of faith. So I always
Yes,
just say, take a
definitely.
leap of faith. You'll drop into a bag of hay, hopefully.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of what other people think. I think you're definitely correct. Find your passion. And then once you found your passion, you got to go for it. I like int, strength, dex. That's a
Dex,
really good
yes.
one.
Yes,
I
yes.
like
Make sure
that.
to work on yourself like you are your in-game character, and
It's very
just don't
true.
forget to continuously improve every day.
Myrtle, it's been absolutely fascinating speaking with you, knowing that all of the stuff that you do on a day to day basis, and you still seem so calm and put together. If I did everything that you did, my hair would be over here. I would be like, it would look like I've been dragged through a hedge to get here. But you're definitely an inspiration to the future generations of cosplayers, musicians, you name it, Myrtle's done it. And I'm very pleased to have been able to sit down and speak with you. And thank you so much for joining us here on Origins.
Thank you very much, Barney.